All right, welcome back, everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another AlphaStar 1 versus 1 commentary. Today we are on the map Cyber Forest, and in the top left we have got Alpha Z, and in the bottom right we have got Masters Zerg. So we have got ourselves a good old ZVZ. Honestly, I really enjoy AlphaStar ZVZ for the most part. I know some people can have complaints about ZVZ and things like that, but whenever this AI is playing it, I will happily watch, no matter how many games. And I am excited as we are seeing an early spawning pool come out of the Masters player. So gonna be trying to cheese AlphaStar out a little bit. And ladies and gentlemen, seeing as how we have had like a 13 pool, let's try and hit 13 likes on this video, doing the call to action a little bit earlier in this video because I feel it's gonna heat up with this early pool being on the way. And yeah, we take a look, AlphaStar just going for a normal hatchery into gas, then into pool. The usual AlphaStar ZVZ build for the most part. And then we'll see. I mean, how's it going to handle getting cheesed by this Zerg player who's really delaying his hatchery? So it is indeed a big Ling aggression. Alright, so speed is on the way for the Masters Zerg player. He is still mining gas, so my guess is there's going to be a follow-up Baneling nest. So really, really aggressive against AlphaStar. Just going to be hammering home the aggression, trying to kill the AI as soon as possible. There's that Baneling nest on the way. There is no brakes on this Zerg player's Ling train. AlphaStar's spawning pool isn't yet done, so it's going to be really tough for AlphaStar to hold on. I mean, this is heavy aggression, as heavy as aggression. You can do this early in ZVZ. The Lings are setting their sights on the hatchery of AlphaStar, gonna start attacking that. AlphaStar's response is to fire up some Lings, start up a Roach Warren, and make some Queens. If it can get the Roaches out, that'll be very good for it, but we see AlphaStar is now pulling some drones to fight against this. That's only a small number of drones. They definitely can't fight without a couple of Lings popping out, but there's the Lings now popping out to help aid in this fight. AlphaStar actually pulled what I feel was a perfect amount of drones for that. Enough to supplement his Lings, but not enough to really impact his economy. And we take a look, that Roach Warren's almost done, so the Masters player is really going to need to get some damage done here as soon as possible. I mean, take a look, more Banelings are morphing, but that Roach Warren's done. AlphaStar now fires up 3 Roaches. Like, damage needs to be done yesterday for the Masters Zerg player. How many Lings does he have? 17 Lings charging in towards AlphaStar. The Banelings are going to be looking for some hits on the Lings. They both actually go off on one of the Queens and a few of the Lings, but that's not enough damage for AlphaStar. If we take a look, the Roaches are just seconds from popping out. I think this is going to be a solid hold from the AI. A Roach does pop out. There's a chance the Lings could surround it, and that is actually going to go well for the Masters Zerg player, but that was just one Roach. He needs to be able to get the other Roaches. Looks like he might grab himself a drone or two with the Banelings, but as long as AlphaStar keeps building Roaches, I feel there's no chance that the AI is going to lose this game. Lings are going to try and grab off a few drones. The worker count has been really evened up for the most part, but AlphaStar is on 2 bases, whereas the Masters player is just slowly churning out units and simply doesn't have enough to keep the aggression going, I feel. I mean, it's 12 Lings to 6 Roaches. Yeah, it is absolutely not happening this game for the Masters player. If we take a look, we see just a total hold from the AI. Holding on long enough to get those Roaches out to respond to this attack. Looks like Lings are going to try and bypass the Roaches for the Masters player, get into AlphaStar's main base and kill off as many workers as possible. He'll need to kill a lot of workers to come back in this game. So far, he's getting quite a few, though. I mean, killing off, I'm not sure exactly how many it was there, but the micro from AlphaStar with the drones was pretty good. Worker count is still even, but oh, look at this. The Masters player is just going fully off the handle. Is going to go for a 1 base lair, throws up an extra gas and a spine crawler to help defend against any aggression from AlphaStar. But this is going to have to be magic, whatever comes out of this lair, and I feel it's going to have to be a spire, as there's no way that the Masters player can outproduce AlphaStar, who is on 2 bases, as opposed to the Master player's 1. Then we take a look here. Yeah, AlphaStar is just macroing up fine, doubling the supply of its opponent. The lair is on the way, an extra hatchery is on the way. For the Masters player, he's probably going to be reaching for a Spire, but if we take a look, AlphaStar knows it can just move across the map and kill its opponent. The Spire hasn't even started yet, and there's already 12 Roaches out for AlphaStar. There is not a chance in the world that if AlphaStar moves across the map, the Masters player will hold on. We see Roaches are still being produced. It's just too tough to come back after going for an early pool and not winning the game, essentially. If we take a look, yeah, it's just Roaches moving across the map. The Masters player does have an Overlord which spots all of these Roaches, and he is in big, big trouble. There's a Nidus being started up. What? A Nidus? I don't think a Nidus could ever work in this situation, seeing as how AlphaStar simply has way, way more units. The Masters player knows about the Roaches crossing the map, but I feel it's just a matter of seconds till the GG happens when they hit. No, it doesn't even need to go all the way across the map. The AI takes game number 1. All right. We are into the next game. We're looking at a Zerg, but this time it's not AlphaStar. It is a Diamond Zerg going to be taking on Alpha Terran in a match on King's Cove. So a good old Terran versus Zerg. This is one of the remaining longer AlphaStar games that we have. I thought I'd throw this in here just to, you know, basically see how the AI plays in a longer match. We take a look, just extractor trick for the Diamond player. Gonna be making another drone or two and then probably getting a hatchery. Usual Zerg shenanigans. So nothing out of the ordinary here, whereas AlphaStar just going for that barrack. Gonna be taking its gas. All is normal so far. But yeah, if you guys have anything interesting to say about AlphaStar, or there's any questions you have, make sure to ask those in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We have got probably, I'm thinking, as of uploading this video, there's probably about, I want to say 90, 80, 90, depends how many I do in one video for some of the matches. AlphaStar videos left, so we're getting towards the end. Probably will take us to around Christmas or so, if I had to say. But who knows how things will play out. So we may just be doing a round trip, a full year of AlphaStar basically on the channel. Started casting it last November, and we are continuing on. I am really enjoying casting in general at the minute, though. I recently got the new stand-in desk, which I think I've mentioned before, but it really lets me have freedom while casting. I think better enunciation and stuff. I'm like rocking back and forth as I stand here watching this Overlord move across the map. Now, we have got a bunker on the way for AlphaStar very early on, which is quite interesting for a Zerg versus Terran. Because as a Terran, you usually go out and scout with an SCV, just to basically say, oh, there's no Zerg aggression. Instead, this iteration of AlphaStar has said, well, there could be Zerg aggression. So basically, I'm just going to build the bunker to be safe regardless, which is kind of interesting. I question it, though, because the timings, there's a chance Lings could have even got in before the bunker finished up playing blind. AlphaStar does what AlphaStar does, though. We see a factory on the way next. And yeah, I mean, the Overlord's going to cross the map for the Diamond player, but oh no, there's one Marine out. A second Marine is about to pop out. This Overlord is totally dead. With 2 Marines going to be lighting it up, that is a dead Overlord. Yeah, definitely resting in pieces, which is not good for the Zerg player, because that was his, like, 3rd Overlord. You do not want to lose an Overlord this early on. It's more forgivable for Zerg to lose an Overlord later into the game, because, of course, it's not as significant of a loss when you lose 1 out of your 10 Overlords as opposed to 1 out of 3. That being said, the Diamond Zerg hasn't slowed down at all. He does have his 3rd hatchery on the way, so just macroing up normally as you would do, just a little bit hindered due to losing that Overlord. AlphaStar is going to be making a Widow Mine and some Marines with a starport in tow as well, so there's a chance we'll be seeing some kind of, say, Marine mine drop or Marine push. There is a tech lab building on the factory, though, so maybe AlphaStar will just go into AlphaStar Banshees, maybe put the factory on the reactor and start building Hellions. It's a bit of an unorthodox TVZ build we're seeing from this AlphaStar agent. Metabolic boost is on the way as well for the Diamond player. Mainly pulled out of gas, though, so just going to be mining normally. Does start up a baneling nest. I suppose this is for safety. And is actually floating a lot of resources, so he's going to want to spend those. Over 500. Closing in on 600. Got to start up a couple of queens. Fire up as many drones as possible, I think. That's usually what you want to do is Zerg. Seeing as how this bank is going quite high. This is a little bit concerning. If you're going to be taking on a super-powered AI, well, for starters, you don't want to be losing yet another Overlord, and you don't want to be floating any money. So this is already looking like quite an awful game for the Diamond player, to be completely frank. 2 Overlords dead on the production tab. It's not often you see just 2 dead Overlords. Alright, so for the Diamond player, we are going to be seeing Carapace be on the way, followed up by some Lings, some Queens. I guess this is just for safety. This is around the amount of Lings you'd want if you're having to defend something like a 2-1-1. Get out lots of Queens, get out lots of Lings. Of course, AlphaStar isn't going for a 2-1-1. It is going for a relatively timed 3 racks, 3rd CC. Alera's on the way next for the Diamond player. A few banelings as well, so just macroing up pretty normally, but if we take a look at the worker count, AlphaStar is the boss at building workers, so it's pretty much on par with the Zerg, which is not what you want as the Zerg player. I feel like right now the Zerg should be on at least 50 workers, probably getting towards that 60 mark. Then thinking about a 4th base pretty soon. So the Zerg player's macro is just not necessarily the best at this point, and it does go to show how important macro is. Essentially nothing has happened in this game, besides a few Overlords dying, and yet the Zerg player is still so far behind in this game already. Well, maybe not so far behind, but is significantly behind in this game. I mean, there's always a chance to come back, though. Always a chance to catch AlphaStar off guard. That's what we get in these lower level games. There's a lot more wiggle room, essentially. And that applies to basically every level of StarCraft 2. The higher and higher up you go on the ladder, the less wiggle room you have for error and things like that. Now, let's take a look. We see Baneling Speed, Carapace on the way for the Zerg player. We have seen Zerg simply die to AlphaStar's tank pushes. In the past, AlphaStar just makes a bunch of tanks, the Zerg doesn't quite macro well enough, and then the AI totally just bops it like it's nothing. And then, yeah, we'll see if that's going to happen to this Diamond player. Based on the current supply, based on the unit composition, I feel it could be that way. I mean, the tank count really starting to rise for AlphaStar. The 3rd command center going to be landing. There's even a Raven out, which is quite nice. Marine production really going to be kicking off with Combat Shield and Stim Pack already done. So this AI is not messing around. It's actually playing pretty standard for the most part. If we take a look, there is a lot of medivacs for AlphaStar, a lot of tanks. It's not often we see AlphaStar go so heavy into the medivacs. Comparatively, it'll usually just make a ton of Marines and then a ton of tanks. So this agent is playing more human-like, in a sense. Marines are stimming forward, going to clean up a few Lings that the Diamond player had out on the map. The Diamond player is getting up his 4th base, is getting up an extra Evo and starting up a Spire. We really should be seeing that +1 melee attack starting, though. If he's going to keep this going, he's getting up a Hydralisk then as well, though. That's kind of cool to see. Hydras are quite good units, particularly at lower levels, since they are fairly good at standing against Terran Bio. And then a ton of Banelings to help out as well is really good to see. So the Diamond Zerg is at least making things. He's not just sitting around, basically twiddling his thumbs. Having this many Banelings will really help when an attack comes in. AlphaStar is starting to poke a little bit. We've got a drop moving towards the 3rd base. These Banelings are going to totally roll over that drop. There's a little bit of pressure towards the south. Marines and a Raven really cool for AlphaStar, allowing creep to be cleaned up for no scans, which I really do enjoy. And then for the Diamond Zerg, there's already a macro hatch on the way. So the Diamond Zerg, while having little macro hurdles, is still pulling together a pretty solid game, I'd say. 77 drones, more Lings on the way. Is going to want to make sure he fires up an Overlord soon. He's dangerously close to being supply blocked. Raven is being queued up around the map for AlphaStar. Where is that Raven? Where is that the Raven? There's that Raven going all the way around the map. We see a couple of auto turrets queued up for AlphaStar. Interesting how it does it. So it just is like, all right, in here, toss the turret, bounce back around, toss the turret, bounce out of here. Just fly out of here like a boss. We'll see if the Raven is going to stick to that path or not, or if AlphaStar will adjust it. All the while, AlphaStar behind this is just continuously macroing, ton of barracks and things on the way. +2 attack. Vehicle armor, which is quite interesting, I'll say, but there we go. There is 1 turret, 2 turrets. The Raven is on its way out. AlphaStar will adjust, toss down a turret to help save the Raven, but the Raven will indeed perish. Yes, it will. Infestation Pit is now on the way for the Diamond player, but this game, both players are really starting to surge up in supply. Or they're actually building up to quite a high supply count. I mean, AlphaStar at 160, the Diamond Zerg at quite a high supply already. We do need to make sure that this Diamond Zerg is using all of his injects, though, because he's got the money, but he does not have the larva in order to produce a big army to deal with AlphaStar's probable attack. Now, if the Zerg player can also reach into Vipers, that would be huge for him, because AlphaStar gets a lot of its wins off the back of Zergs not having a counter to 20 million siege tanks. So, yes, we'll see as AlphaStar gets up this PF whether it'll push, whether the Zerg will have enough time to get into something a little bit better. I mean, I definitely don't mind the Banelings, that's for sure. If you're, excuse me, if you're a Zerg player and you can get out just a plethora of Banelings, you will not lose an engagement. You might trade inefficiently, but you will not lose a battle. Now we take a look. AlphaStar is going to be moving out on the map, going to be pushing forward to creep. Tanks are already sieging up, and this is a hell of a choke point for the AI. AlphaStar is going to have to push in more before the Zerg player can take an engagement, but the Zerg player doesn't care. He's just pulling his Banes forward, crashing into everything. AlphaStar was really clumped up. The Banes do connect. The final few Banes rinse the Terran army. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. So many Baneling hits against this Zerg player. Or for the Zerg player. How many Banelings was that? I mean, 19 Banelings only technically died, but I feel a few more kind of kamikazed than that. AlphaStar's entire army just got wiped, though, besides the Medivacs, and this put the Diamond player at a much higher supply. So a really good game we're seeing from the Diamond player compared to other Diamond players, at least, anyway. These Banelings and Hydras are moving out on the map. They're going to want to turn around, though. The Diamond player is getting up to Ultralisks, which I do like to see. Getting up Evolved Spines, Adrenal Glands, 2-3 for his upgrades, has his 5th base up. This Zerg is macroing up. And I know it's been a while since we've really seen a game like this, but AlphaStar doesn't tend to understand the late game versus Zerg. It doesn't understand how it needs to sort of continue the game on, and thus, if this Zerg can get to the late game, or simply just kill AlphaStar right now, it will be very good for the Zerg player, who's pretty much already at that late game. We see Banelings are going to roll towards the mineral line of AlphaStar, definitely kill some SCVs, that's some good damage done. The Zerg player behind this as well is at an insane economy, saying, okay, AlphaStar, you like to build workers, I can build workers too. This Diamond Zerg is currently at 93 drones, which is almost half of his total supply cap, which is nuts. We may actually want to see the Zerg move away from that many drones at some point in the game, but for now, mine away, buddy, mine away. I would like to see a 5th or a 6th base, pardon me, go up, but the Zerg player's already thinking of that. 7 Ultras are on the way too, and this is a little bit concerning for AlphaStar. I think when Ultras are out, and when there's a lot of Banelings with them, the AI never ever wins. And so, build all the Marines and Marauders you like, AlphaStar. I don't have high hopes. As we take a look, there's going to be so many Ultras, so many Banelings, and there's not a lot to actually counter this. Marauders are good, but Banelings and Ultras will still roll over a Terran. AlphaStar is also moving out while this is going on. That's not what we want to see. We need to see like mass siege tanks for the AI once again. We need to see, oh, I don't know, just maybe some Liberators in his army to be dropping all over the map. But take a look at this. The Ultras off creep are now running up this ramp saying, "Hi there, AlphaStar. What are you doing out here?" The AI is saying, "I don't know. I'm leaving. Let me go. As these Marines and Marauders are running away as fast as they can. The Banelings is pursuing those roly-polies of death, just gonna kill off a bunch of that bio without a care in the world. The Diamond player's like, "Oh, I don't care if my Banelings die. I'll just make more." And this is looking really disastrous for AlphaStar. The AI has built up to a decent supply again, but man, is this a scary Zerg army. These Banelings are going to crash towards the PF. The PF will be finished off by the Hydras. AlphaStar has lost a mining base, and now it's going to be taking a fight, but with only half of its army. Where's the rest of your boys to help out? This little chunk of bio can't fight this AlphaStar. What are you doing? AlphaStar is securing up more bases as this goes on. It's not like it is it's not like it's locked on 3 bases. It does have a 4th. Got a 5th base floating somewhere because that's what AlphaStar has been doing lately. We see armor on the way for AlphaStar. We see Liberators starting to build, which is good. Liberators are a counter to Ultras. If you get enough of them, they're good versus Hydras too. Double siege tank production, extra factories going up. These are all counters to Ultralisks, which is good to see for the AI. It's not totally derping this game. It's setting up its tanks in a good position too. I like this. One thing that does concern me though is the Greater Spire being on the way. We have never really seen AlphaStar effectively counter a Greater Spire. By the way, this is a little bit much for the Diamond player. Just rolled like, I don't know, that was a lot of Banelings. Yeah, that was like 30, 40 Banelings. It just rolled forward, or they just rolled forward, pardon me, into siege tanks. Now we see a drop is going to be moving towards the north for AlphaStar. Building armor is on the way. More Liberators on the way too. One of my concerns is AlphaStar will fall into its sort of classic pattern of making just too many siege tanks when there's Broodlords on the way. We see these Corruptors are going to shut down AlphaStar's drop. So, I mean, at least the AI was dropping. But when you're going for a drop and there's nothing else happening in the game, it is just destined to fail. The Diamond player is at 6,500 minerals. This is one of the best banks I've ever seen built up against the AI. There is now Broodlords being produced. 5 Broodlords is a good number. Having some Corruptors in the air to help guard them as well. Then the Hydra's on the ground too. Really, really liking this game for the Diamond player. Okay, we take a look. This command center. Not landing. I think AlphaStar's own tanks are blocking it, which is a bit of a derp. Yeah, maybe. We take a look. High-sec auto-tracking is on the way now for AlphaStar. There is Zerg melee +3, because why not for the Diamond player? Make those Banelings do some bigger booms. AlphaStar is out on the map with a good chunk of bio right now, and it is going to be going for a drop. And oh no, don't do it, AlphaStar. Don't just unload these boys. Oh god, it's flying. It's flying over some Hydras. These units are so trapped out on the map. Will AlphaStar even get them home? Oh, this is going to be horrible. This is going to be horrible. No, AlphaStar losing more and more units. What a disastrous drop for the AI. Loads back up, but the Corruptors are pursuing them. And the Zerg player simply doesn't care. He says, whatever, go drop where you want. I'm going to go roll ya. The AI does have a very, very good siege tank line, though. Look at this. This is actually so many siege tanks. Most of AlphaStar's supply right now is tanks, and tanks are not bad versus Ultras. So the ground army of the Diamond player may actually get cleared out. The problem is the Broodlords in the sky don't really have an answer. The drop to the top right for AlphaStar is still chilling. We really, really do need to see some Vikings getting made. Just mass Marines being churned out for AlphaStar so he can take care of these Broodlords. There isn't actually much on the ground to defend these Broodlords if the AI does decide to charge on in against this, which is possible. That is one way to deal with Broodlords. Where's that drop going, though, AlphaStar? We got to see that getting used at some point. Currently, these Broodlords are not being answered, and oh, there is a ton of Lings on the ground for the Diamond player now to support these Broods. We need to see some Vikings being made for AlphaStar, but the AI, once again, is showing us that it doesn't quite understand Broodlords. This has been a constant trend for the Terran agents, pretty much since some of the first games of AlphaStar that I cast. The AI hasn't understood the Broodlords. It's making Liberators, it's like, alright, more tanks, that'll help against Broodlords. But no, it won't AlphaStar, it won't help at all. These Marines, just the Marines are going to load up into the Medivac, so I wonder what AlphaStar is thinking, like, okay, I need these Marines to get on top of these Broodlords. Are they just going to unload and try and go for a surround? What are they doing? AlphaStar is derping so hard right now. There's 3 times siege tank production going on. The drop in the top right is still just sitting there. It seems AlphaStar has forgot, and apparently it is capable of forgetting, that it has a large chunk of its supply in a drop to the top right. Looks like the Diamond Zerg will indeed get the W. No answer whatsoever for the Broodlords from AlphaStar. These Marines unloaded in the Medivacs, but there's too many Broodlords on the ground, I feel, for the Marines just to charge in there. The drop is going to be getting queued up, but the Zerg knew about this, so he actually had a ton of Spine Crawlers planted. And yeah, there's no answer from AlphaStar for these Broodlords. If the AI just made Vikings, I feel that this game would be a lot better. Looks like the Marines tried to grab a Broodlord, but it's not happening. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to slap that like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. It is free. It's a great way to support the channel as we're trying to break 10,000 subs by the end of the year. If you want to hang out, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter. And yeah, check out my live streams as well. I stream, at the minute anyway, I've been streaming early in the afternoon Pacific time. I get a little bit salty at times, but don't we all? Starcraft 2. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and do so. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. This has been LaughNgamez.